Good evening to our viewers in Nigeria and those watching around the world. We're taking over the next 25 minutes to talk about the political situation in Rivers State, where the candidates of the Action People's Party emerged victorious, taking 22 out of 23 local government areas. And just moments ago, we watched the newly elected local government chairman being sworn in by Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State. Well, we're live in Abuja studio, and thanks for joining us on Politics on Sunday. I am Femi Akonde. Let's begin the show by telling you that Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State says he will hold the Inspector General of Police responsible if there's a breakdown of law and order in the state, following the police insistence to obey orders of the Federal High Court against the conduct of local government elections in Rivers State. The governor also chose to obey the order of the State High Court approving the conduct of the local government election. But the election was held under certain circumstances that may soon become another subject of litigation in court. A twist to the just concluded local government election is that the governor's political party, the People's Democratic Party, did not participate. Well, in all of this conflict in the politically charged Rivers State, former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, is not keeping quiet, as he says that the proliferation of conflicting court orders is ridiculing the judiciary and derailing the democracy. He urged the National Judicial Council to curb the trend. The former President Goodluck Jonathan, in his statement on his verified X handle, warned that institutions of the state, especially security agencies, must refrain from actions that could lead to a breakdown of law and order. Well, in another reaction to the situation in Rivers State, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and also a presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party at the 2023 general election, he says on his verified Twitter handle that with the conclusion of the local government election in Rivers State, the shadows of political intimidation and judicial chicanery has dissipated, paving the way for the noble pursuit of governance to commence in the state. In that statement, he says, as prophesied, it has now been revealed that the citizens of Rivers State are astute and resolute, unwavering in their rejection of any form of political oppression, harassment, or the machinations of self-serving godfathers. He says in the grand tapestry of this election, it is ultimately the people who emerged victorious. Their sacred right to choose their leaders firmly upheld within the framework of our democratic process. Well, let's listen to this soundbite from the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara.
Let me say to all Rivers indigents, everyone residing in Rivers State, election will hold. Yes. 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 Election will hold. Yes. Anything that wants to happen, let it happen. We are here. I don't understand. Everybody, just relax. Nothing is happening.
Nothing, no.
We are ready. If we know that this is going to be the last fight, and we will take it to the end.
An angry Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State. Well, the pressure or the tension, I should say, in that state has reached a frightening height. And maybe with the swearing in of the local government chairman, that might be reduced. We understand that the chairman are expected to resume at the local government secretariats tomorrow, following their swearing in today by the governor of Rivers State. But we'll return to the Rivers situation. We're still trying to establish a connection with our guests in Rivers State. But before we return to that, I will talk about President Bola Tinubu's decision to institute a national youth confab that will discuss issues affecting young people in Nigeria. Already this has raised so many conversations from different quarters, people asking what kind of confab will it be, who are those involved, and who are those that will come to the table to dialogue, and when will it take place? Well, for joining me for a perspective into that conversation around the National Youth Confab proposed by President Bola Tinubu is Umar Jijiwa. He's a prominent youth advocate here in Nigeria. Thank you, Umar.
Thank you.
And welcome to TVC News.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having
Well,
me.
this youth confab announced by President Bola Tinubu, or proposed by President Bola Tinubu, didn't come as much of a surprise to many people, considering the fact that this administration has said that they intend to carry youth along, and we also saw a demonstration of that by the setting up of the Ministry for Youth Development and other policies deliberately targeted at young people. But now the question is, this youth confab, what form and shape will it likely take?
The youth conference is supposed to be a 30-day conference, just like they do other confabs. I mean,
and 30 days, wouldn't that be too much?
Well, I think even if they want to take a year to solve Nigeria's problem, it is worth it for me, because we have not been engaged as much as we need to be engaged. The president has so many responsibilities, and he prioritizes what he wants to prioritize. So if he wants to give us 30 days to pay attention to this sector, then I believe we have to give him the support. We also have to make sure that we bring out all the issues and work with them to understand how it is that we are going to implement some of these changes. If that 30 days is enough for us to push for certain reforms, push for certain actions to be done, we are very happy with it. I mean, 30 days is better than 1 day, although it is less than a year.
Okay, well, and now people are asking, who are those that will be selected? What class of young people will be selected? And who defines who a youth is, or what are the parameters for defining who is a youth?
Okay, I will start with who is a youth. Well, a youth is a person below certain age. A youth is a person in his productive years. A youth is a person that is still about to hit his prime or at his prime before getting old. Now, many countries have different actions, because like in Nigeria now, you meet 70-year-old people that say that they are youths. You meet youth leaders that are 70, 60, 50, and they are saying that they are youth. So I don't think I can give you an age, but I would rather say a youth is a person that is in his productive age. And when it comes to the selection process of the conference, we are yet to have any idea on that, because the government is yet to come out to tell us how it is going to be. But we understand what they want to achieve. And of course, we are going to propose certain methods, certain ways of choosing who and who are supposed to be these delegates. We have to make sure that it goes across all regions. It goes across all sectors. We have youths that are in oil and gas. We have youths that are in land. We have youths in every sector of this country. And as you know, the youth, we have the population. And we are the ones that bear the burden of the economy more than every other person. So if we sit down and we take our time and we have good guidelines and we are able to pull out a selection process that is going to go round, that is going to be fair, that is going to be consistent with the issues that we have, then I think that is how they are going to follow it.
Well, there's another concern now about the proliferation of youth groups. A lot of them are heavily politicized, in different sectors or different parts of the country. Some of them are affiliated to political parties, some of them ethnic groups, and have also some kind of political affiliation. How do we ensure that all of these sentiments are not brought to bear in this confab, and also do not in a way determine the outcome? That is going to be a level playing ground for people from all walks of life within that youth demography to come to the table to dialogue?
First of all, everything in Nigeria is politicized. You can't take that away. Everything is politically related. You can't take that away. Youth groups, we have a lot of them, and they have the right to have their choices on who they want to support. They also have their right to engage in meaningful activities, politically, economically, or any aspect that they choose to go ahead. But that doesn't mean that they are not going to be involved when it's time. Elections are over. We all picked our sides. It went to the court. The court has chosen who it is that is leading. So now let's just talk about governance. That's why I'm speaking to the youths. I think that we are done with the political aspect of it for now. We need to focus on how it is that we are going to make this country better. Because at the end of the day, when you have a leader and he isn't doing well, you are the one that is going to bear that brunt, not that leader. So we have to forget politics for now and think about this conference as an opportunity to engage, to dialogue, for us to be able to have a platform that we are going to ask for what we need, what we want, and what we should be given.
Okay, lastly now, there was once a national conference in this country where everyone was brought together to talk. The outcome of that was not implemented. It was as if that was thrown in the dustbin, and people are wondering or asking, would this not go the same way?
Well, we have to give the president the benefit of the doubt. He was not in charge when that happened, but he has come out to say he wants to do this. So the opportunity to be able to engage with our president is what we have to take. We have to hope for the best. We have to make sure that we bring out our issues in the best manner possible. For us to be able to resolve some of these our issues, we have to give that benefit of the doubt.
All right. All right, then. Well, thank you so much, Umar Jijua, and thanks for your intervention. Well, we'll return to the political situation in Rivers State, and joining me live on the program is a former majority leader of Rivers State House of Assembly and also former Commissioner for Water Resources, Dr. Tamunosisi Gogo Jaja. Hello, sir. Good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, well, there have been congratulatory messages, sent to Rivers State, to the governor of Rivers State over what they say is a success of the just concluded local government elections. And we have also seen the local government chairman, taking the oath of office. They have been sworn in. But there are still a lot of questions, especially about the credibility of these elections. There were court judgments, one from the Federal High Court, asking for that election not to hold. Another from another state high court, asking, directing the elections to go ahead. But people are asking, will this election stand?
I can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you anymore. But to the extent that I heard you, you're talking about the credibility of the election. I want to say to you, as a Rivers indigene, that since the inception of democracy in 1999 in Nigeria, this is the freest, most credible and fair election we have had in this state. When you talk about court judgments, let's face some issues. The issue of local government administration falls within the jurisdiction or purview of the state government. When you talk about court orders and judgments prohibiting the state independent electoral, not state independent electoral commission, the Independent National Electoral Commission and the Nigeria Police Force from either providing security and INEC releasing voters register. The RISEC already had this register, and ever before you begin to talk about federal an injunction from a federal high court, RISEC had already displayed these voters register or registers in various polling units in the state. Now, talking about prohibiting the police from monitoring or partaking in the election, that's ridiculous, because we're setting a dangerous precedence in this nation when an individual will walk into the courtroom and ask for a court order stopping the police from providing security. Let's ask this simple question. What is the primary responsibility of the Nigerian Police Force? Is to protect life and property. On the other hand, what you're invariably saying is that anybody can walk into the court and get an order or an injunction prohibiting Nigerian army from fighting insurgency or Boko Haram. Let's be careful with the precedents we set. I think that Nigerians should be commending Governor Fubara by now, because this is a man whose party pulled out of the election, and yet he went ahead to organize the election. And what is the problem of the factional or those who are loyal to the FCT minister? Don't forget, if you're following the activities in Rivers State, these are the same people who went to court, who complained to high heavens that the governor was running the local government administration with caretaker committee. Now the governor decided to release funds to reset, to organize election. These same people are the same people who are protesting, who went to the Federal High Court to ask for an injunction. Now, I think that the question should really be, what do these people want? For me, these are people who want to derail democracy in this country.
Another question
President Tinubu should be careful and mindful of the dealings with such people.
I get you. Another question now is the non-participation of the police already casts aspersion on the credibility of the results declared by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, because the police is also a major stakeholder in the electoral process.
I pray I can hear you. I pray I can hear you.
I'll repeat it loud and clear this time. I said, people are saying that the non-participation of the police in the process now casts aspersion on the credibility of that result, because the police is a critical stakeholder in any electoral process. Did you hear me?
I can't hear you, but let me answer the earlier part of the question you raised about the involvement of the Nigerian police being a critical stakeholder. Now, let's establish one fact. The responsibility of security in every election lies with the Independent National Electoral Commission. That's the national election. And in the state elections, as with regard to the local government, the responsibility of securing the election, the security of the election lies in the State Independent Electoral Commission. They are the ones who engage the services of either civil defense or the Nigeria Police Force. And let me also say that peradventure the Nigerian Police Force was to be involved in the elections, they were to send the list of participating officers to the State Independent Electoral Commission. And in this case, let us establish one fact, that whether the Nigerian Police Force got involved or not, it doesn't reduce any credibility of the election, because there were other security agencies that were at the polling unit. And that's the fact I tried to establish in my earlier submission, that had Governor Fubara allowed this to come to be, we would have established a precedence in this country that any individual can walk into the court and get an order or judgment barring the police force from carrying out their primary functions. And let me ask you this question, or ask Nigerians this question. Should anyone from Rivers State enter into any courtroom and get an order barring the Nigerian Navy from either parading on the high sea or stopping the functions on the assignment of securing our seaways? How will Nigerians feel about that?
And
let me answer you.
There's also, people are also talking about...
The election didn't fall short. The election didn't fall short of any standard.
Yes, people are also talking about what appears to be a kind of inconsistency in the way that the results were announced. They say, the chairman of the Rivers State Electoral Commission did not specifically say what each candidate polled, how many votes they polled. Just, announcing winners without clearly stating the figures, which seem to be the practice or the normal way of announcing election results that we have all watched on television. But what happened in Rivers State was somewhat different, and this has raised some kind of curiosity.
That's also not correct. The function of the chief electoral officer, in the local government election is to make declarations. In every polling unit at the close of election, the presiding officer announces the results of the election. We took that up to the local government level, and at the local government level, they also announced the results without declaration. The local government law states that it is the chief electoral officer that will declare the winner. And the chief electoral officer, in this case, Justice Enebele, performed his function by declaration. All results were announced at the polling unit and at the local government collation center without declaration. And the chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission did what he was supposed to do. So anybody who is interested in knowing the figures and details should ask their party agents, because all the party agents collected the result sheets at the polling units.
The APP, is the biggest winner in this election. In Rivers State, that people say it's a traditional PDP state.
Well, that's why we feel bad. I am a member of the PDP. That's why we feel bad. But I think that you, as an anchor of this program, should be congratulating the governor as the face of democracy in the country. His party pulled out. His party pulled out of the elections, and yet he didn't feel that, look, I will be the greatest loser of this process. He went ahead and conducted the election, and APP won. And in any case, to show you the credibility of this election, this is the very first time in this state where other political parties even won a seat. The Boot Party, the Labour Party, the APC, and AA won seat, and the council chair, particularly a chair local government area, was won by AA. That shows you that is the will of the people. Unlike what used to happen, you had the former chief of staff in this state who said that he sits down in his office to write a result. Governor Fubara insisted that everything should be done in the field, and that is why you have other parties winning some seats in this state.
Some people have also said that it's because Governor Fubara supports the APP and might be crossing over to the APP. Is that true? Is that correct?
Now, let me also correct that impression. Governor Fubara, incidentally, comes from the same local government as I am. He is from Opobo Nkoro local government area. And he wasn't in Opobo for this local government process. He didn't vote because his party pulled out of the election. And funny enough, those who announced that they were pulling out of the election are the same people who are fomenting problem everywhere. What do you want? That's the question we Rivers people keep asking. What do you really want? When caretaker committee was in place, your argument was Governor Fubara was running the state with caretaker committee. And in obedience to the Supreme Court's judgment, Governor Fubara has decided to release funds to the State Independent Electoral Commission. I want to place on record that he did not influence anybody to do whatever or to vote any candidate. And that's why you have multiple parties winning seats in Rivers State, which has never been. And it was not until this election I didn't believe that they were actually writing results. I was wondering why PDP will win all the 319 councillorship seats in the state. But when one Tony Okocha said that he sat in the government house and was writing results, that is splendid.
Okay,
I think that Nigerians should commend.
All right, we have to go now, but I'll ask you this last question. Nigerians are also wondering why they saw the chairman of the People's Governors Forum, that's the governor of Bauchi State, sitting as the special guest when these local government chairmen were being sworn in. Local government chairmen on the platform of the Action People's Party, not his party, the PDP, because the PDP did not participate in that election. People are asking, what's the connection?
No, he visited to solidarize with his comrade, with his brother governor. He wasn't here on the platform or because PDP didn't participate. Don't forget that they had declared the support of all the PDP governors to Governor Fubara. So Governor Bala Mohammed was here because his brother governor had achieved what no other governor would have achieved in this whole country. No governor will allow any party to win his state. No governor will allow a councillorship seat to go to any political party other than his own. I think, let me repeat again, that Nigerians should commend Governor Fubara, that irrespective of the fact that his political party pulled out of the local government election, he didn't stop it. He didn't refuse to release funds.
Thank you. He
went ahead to organize the election. And other political parties will.
All right, then. Thank you, Dr. Tamuno Sisi Gogo Jaja.
That's the outcome. That's the outcome of division in a political party. And I wish to appreciate you too.
All right, thank you, Dr. Tamuno Sisi Gogo Jaja. Thank you for your time on the program. Well, that's our package for you this week. You can see this episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. Also, watch a repeat broadcast at 11 p.m. today. Thank you for watching. I am Femi Akonde. See you next time.